I wanted to say, first of all, good afternoon, everybody. Ken Johnson here with you. And this afternoon, the weather is actually not too bad out there. It's a little bit cool. But it's like I was telling somebody earlier today. I was at Sutherland's buying some fertilizer because this is a good day to put that out on your yard because the Bermuda grass is starting to show up now, and right now with this rain coming in, ideal time to put fertilizer on your grass. So that's what I'm doing when I get home tonight on my dinner break. So I did some earlier, but I ran out, so I had to go to Sutherland's and buy some more. So when I was checking out, the lady said, "Did you bring this? Could you order up this cool weather?" And I was like, "Well, no, I didn't order this cool weather. Don't get me wrong. I'd rather it be a warm weekend, a sunny weekend, where I could get outside and do some yard work and play with the dogs in the pool. But instead, it looks wet." And I told her, I was like, "You know what? It's not going to be long before it is going to be 100 degrees every single day. Just hot, hot, hot every single day." So a couple days like this here are really not that bad because you know what's coming. And tomorrow is just going to be a cool, wet day. In fact, I think that temperatures probably won't move much at all. We'll probably stay somewhere low to mid 50s across a good part of the area tomorrow for our highs. Now, Sunday will be a little bit better. Won't be raining. Still going to be relatively cool for this time of the year. And then next week it should get back to warmer again. But next week looks unsettled. And then late next week we could get into an active pattern with thunderstorms. So we'll talk more about that here in just a moment. So let's talk a little bit more about what we got going on here. And if we take a look, this is going to be what the radar might look like. This is this afternoon, not much going on. And I don't expect anything this evening. So if you have plans this evening, no issues at all. Let's put this in motion though. Here we are, first thing in the morning, and at least this particular computer model doesn't bring a lot of rain in. It's a little bit slower, but sometimes the weather information is a little bit slower. So I would think that at least by sunrise we'd be seeing some rain across the area. But if it's not raining first when you get up in the morning, it will. You have to just give it some time. Don't say, "Oh, Ken Johnson missed his forecast. He said it's going to be raining all day," and it's not. It's going to rain. My rain chances tomorrow are at 100%. You can see how quickly it overspreads the area tomorrow morning and especially into the afternoon. And what you see here is a steady, moderate to heavy rain. Now, there could be some thunder in this, nothing severe. There could be some rumbles of thunder, maybe a little thunder in that. And I suppose if we were to see a stronger thunderstorm, there could be some pea-sized hail, but I don't expect that. I think it's mostly going to be widespread, good rain, the kind of rain that just kind of steadily falls all day. And it will probably soak into the ground. That's what I'm saying. Put that fertilizer out. This is the kind that will really soak that fertilizer up, and your grass is going to love it. But this is late morning into the early afternoon. Notice that rain continues. It looks like, with the latest data, it's shifting this front and this little storm center to the south pretty quickly now. And it looks like by late tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night, most of the rain's going to get out of here. Now, there might be some leftover drizzle tomorrow night, but as far as steady rains, that'll be over with. And I do expect the sunshine to return at some point on Sunday. As far as rainfall amounts go, it still looks like there should be a line drawn somewhere along and south of the Red River for the heaviest amounts. You can see these rainfall amounts. This would be Saturday. This just, the clock just keeps running, but there's your heaviest rain area, 1 to 2, 3 inches of rain down here. North Texas, Central Texas, places like Dallas, Abilene, Wichita Falls, Graham, Mineral Wells, Stephenville, and maybe even some good rain towards Austin and down towards Waco and Tyler. And then that would also extend over to the east a good bit. So a good soaking rain, not a flooding rain, but a good soaking rain. And those temperatures, once again, will stay stuck tomorrow in the low 50s, low to mid 50s. It's not. Today's the 19th. So tomorrow is not going to feel like April the 20th. But, it just seems like every year, and if you're from this part of the country, you know it's going to happen, that every year about this time of the year, we do get a shot of chilly air like this where it rains and it's chilly outside. Typically speaking, we see a freeze in April. We may have seen a light freezer. I have to go back and look, but I'm not even aware of any big freezes we've had this month. And this isn't going to bring freezing temperatures. I still think that we're done with freezing temperatures. Once we get over into May, we're not going to see freezing temperatures then. Usually April the 15th is kind of the cutoff anyway, but as we get into May, there's usually some periods in there where we see some cool, chilly weather too before we just transition to the really hot stuff. I did want to take the time before I jump off here. This is kind of looking out into next week. we get back to southerly flow on Monday and into Tuesday. And there's going to be a couple little fronts, or a little front that tries to dive south down in our area around Wednesday. And I don't know that it's going to make it all the way through. We could wind up stalling somewhere near just north of the area. And this type of a pattern, especially if we can keep this southerly flow, and it's still several days out there, usually means some high moisture values building in from the Gulf of Mexico, and that could lead to some pretty good instability towards the middle and latter parts of next week. So if you look there, the signals show up pretty much on any given day from about Wednesday into Friday for thunderstorms, developing either along the dry line or at night or some point in time. And it's severe weather over us. It would. The pattern certainly could be favorable for it, but it's too early to get specific with that, and because lots of things can change. Like this past week, more than a week out, it was looking real favorable for severe weather, and that's the way it usually is. A pattern will look favorable for it, and then something changes. Our more favorable setups come when we have small-scale things in the atmosphere, kind of like that shows up next week. Where you have a front stalled or maybe a little dry line in the area. And oftentimes those can help produce our severe weather here, as opposed to these big systems that crank on through. Usually those big systems crank through here in the middle of the night or early in the morning, and it pushes the severe weather threats east of us, or they wind up slowing down and the severe weather threats wind up being north or west of us, or we wind up getting too capped with a lot of those. So last week we got too capped. The storm system was too slow to kick out, and we got too capped, so we didn't see much in the way of storminess. But we will keep an eye on it. So I did want to ask you guys, and I'm going to have to jump off here in a few minutes, what do you like to do on rainy days? So, of course, it is middle of the afternoon, so I don't expect a lot. We'll have the conversation again tonight about 9:30, so we'll do that then. So we do need rain, James. You're right. And how does next week's severe weather look in? Like I said a minute ago, too early to say, how it's going to look and how it's going to line up. The little small scale features that come together for severe weather, there's no way you can forecast this far out. But the pattern is favorable for it, so we'll see how it goes. So Chelsea, when does the rain start? Tomorrow morning. That's when it will start, in the morning. So, and it looks like once it starts, it's going to rain most of the day. Again, Nikki, in the morning. Specific time frame, I really can't give that to you. If you have outdoor plans tomorrow, just go ahead and cancel them. Crafts with the kids. Miranda, that's a great thing to do when my kids were little. And even when I was a kid, that's what I would do on a rainy day. My mom would do crafts with us. And I would do fun stuff with my kids. A lot of times on a rainy day when I had kids, or when my kids were little, we would we'd either go to the movies. Of course, really don't go to the movies much anymore. Or we would play video games inside, or play a board game inside, or do crafts or something fun like that. Jerry, you're right, because that's one of the things I like to do too. All right, so there's a couple things I like to do on a rainy day. Number one, I'm going to sleep in a little bit late because it's dark outside, and especially if it's raining, you hear it on the rooftop or it's thundering, I'm going to sleep in a little bit late, okay? Snuggle up next to the wife if she'll let me. Sometimes she says, get off, I'm too hot, get off of me. So sometimes the dogs jump on us and keeps me from being able to snuggle up with my wife. So I don't like that. Are y'all about to do sports?
Should be soon, yeah.
All right, I'll jump off here when y'all get ready for that. So another thing that I like to do is, and I'm planning on doing this weekend, is it gives me an opportunity, because I can't work outside, to do indoor chores like clean out the closet and organize. I have this nice elaborate computer streaming setup at the house, and I need to work on audio with that. So I'm going to work on that, so I can get that part figured out. So I've got things to do, but I like to watch a movie. We're watching a good series. My wife and I are watching a really good series on HBO Max right now called what's it called? The Righteous Gemstones, and it's funny. It's a lot like, it's by the same producers from Eastbound and Down. It's dirty, but it's funny. And it's just a really good series we enjoy. So we're watching that right now too. So we'll do that and find movies to watch. We'll have a good day inside. It'll be fine. And one thing I don't like about it is when the dogs go out, because they got to go out, they're going to come back in muddy. Guess what? My house gets muddy and it gets wet. So anyway, All right, well, I've got to go. They've got to do some stuff here in the studio, so I will be back on here tonight to discuss the rain chances. Look for me around 9:30. I'll be back on here tonight to talk about the rain chances, and we'll talk more about fun things and creative things to do indoors on wet days when it's cool and wet outside.